What's up, guys? My name is Ryan, and today on the channel I'm going to be talking about an A24 romantic film called We Live in Time, which stars Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, and was directed by John Crowley, which I've never seen any of his previous works. Now, I did not watch a trailer going to this film, so I didn't know anything about what it was about. I just knew who was actually in the film, and it's about a upcoming chef and also a recent divorcee who meet in an unexpected way, and you have this romantic relationship that develops, and it is a span over 10 years. The plot, it's a non-linear plot. It mainly is separated into three parts. You have when they actually meet, when they have a kid, and then when you find out that Florence Pugh is actually sick. Now, the acting here is absolutely phenomenal. It's very raw. It's very emotional. There is some tears that you're going to shed in this movie because there's a lot of things that really relate to real life. And I think a lot of people are going to relate to this movie, especially with the positive things that kind of come out of life and then the negative things as well. And it feels like you're their best friends here because you're just following them on this journey. Now, with the nonlinear plot, at first, it took me a little bit to get used to. It feels very jumpy. It feels like you go from one scene and then it cuts and then it goes to that next scene. You're like, man, like, where am I at in the story? Like, how does this even connect? But they do a really good job about the middle part of the film where they start to find their footing and they really start to piece this movie together. And I love to watch them really go on screen here and just kind of really develop as a couple. There is one emotional scene towards the third act in which they are fighting, and just that whole emotional raw scene really does coincide with their acting. The score here is very quiet. It's not a lot of music in this film. I did like how the film was actually shot, the colors, the look, the dressing of how they just kind of dressed up these characters, and just really watching this really unfold. If I really had any negatives, I would say there was just a few little slow parts in the film. I wish we got a little bit more family dynamic, especially with their daughter that they actually have, because I feel like there's not a lot of scenes like that. I feel like a lot of them are just kind of them bonding together, and then also when they kind of have their struggles later on in the film, and just certain things like that where I wish we got a little bit more stretched out moments, a little bit more happier moments. But I think even though this does have some negative effects in this film, especially with the sickness, which I don't really like watching movies like that, and I didn't know that this movie was going to be like that, I feel like they do a really good job. Even though there is those negative moments, they don't really show them, but you're still kind of sad and you feel like those feelings for those characters because you know exactly what just happened. But I did like the fact that they kind of kept that out and they didn't really show you that, because then it would be a lot more crying in theaters for me. But I just felt like they did a really good job balancing out the movie as a whole. And as far as the score for this film, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5, and I recommend it.